Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to be learning about how to use the we and us pronouns. These two pronouns, we and us, sometimes get confused. So I want you to pay attention as I explain the rules. So we have some rules to remember. These are the rules for using we pronouns. Use we with the noun subject of the sentence. So what that means, you guys, is that we usually, almost always, comes at the beginning of the sentence. Except, which is bullet point 2, is when we use we after a linking verb. So let's look at these few sentences that are examples. We friends are going to the fair. If you want, you could take out that underlined word friends and say we are going to the fair. And that's how you can check to make sure that you're using the right pronoun. You would say we are going to the fair, not us are going to the fair. So the subject of the sentence is we. Now, the second sentence says the visitors are we. Are is a linking verb. So we use we after a linking verb. You can read this one backwards by saying we are the visitors. Over here we have an action verb, are going, and we comes before that. So all you have to remember is that we usually comes at the beginning of the sentence so that it's the subject, except for when there's a linking verb, it comes after. Now I'm going to teach you about using us pronouns. We use us after an action verb. And we also use us after the words to, for, with, or at. Let's look at the few examples. Dad is taking us boys to the fair. Look at this. Is taking is our action verb. We use us after an action verb. There it is. My sister is going with us boys. Is going is also an action verb. And with is one of the words that we always use us after. So when we do these assignments today, I want you to remember this yellow sheet and this blue sheet and refer to them if you get confused. Let's do some practice now. Mr. Locke invited we or us neighbors. Okay, so I need to think. Invited is my action verb. And I use us after an action verb. So here I will circle us. You could also shorten this by saying Mr. Locke invited us. That sounds good. Next sentence. We or us friends played softball. Well, at the beginning of the sentence, we usually use we. Maybe I'll underline them. That looks better. We friends played softball, or you can shorten it to say we played softball. Number 3, the winners were us or we girls. I want you guys to think in your head right now which one you would pick. The winners were. Okay, so I have a verb here. And that is a linking verb. We use we after a linking verb. So for this one, I have to say we. The winners were we girls. I can read that backwards by saying we were the winners if I take out girls. So you always want to check your work on these. Number 4, Steve came with we or us boys. Well, I'm going to think. Steve is the subject. Came is the action verb. With is a clue word. For using us. So in this sentence, I have to choose us. And you could always check your work by reading it again. Steve came with us. You could take out boys to make sure it sounds right. Number 5, the Cooks were we brothers or the Cooks were us brothers? The Cooks were is the linking verb. So if I look here, were, I would have to choose we. You can read that backwards to check it. We were the Cooks. Number 6, us girls brought our dog or we girls brought our dog? Well, we, if we took out girls, brought our dog. We brought our dog. Sounds good. We is usually the subject of the sentence. Okay, we're going to do a few more practice problems, and then you guys are going to have a sheet to do on your own. Number 1, us boys helped Mr. Locke put the chairs away, or we boys helped Mr. Locke put the chairs away? Well, since this is at the beginning of the sentence, I choose we. We helped, we can take out boys, Mr. Locke put the chairs away. Mr. Locke reminded we or us girls about our dog. This is an action verb. He reminded. Us comes after an action verb. Mr. Locke reminded us. If you shorten that sentence, it sounds good. Number 3, the girls wrote songs for we singers or the girls wrote songs for us singers? Well, I see that the girls are doing an action. And after an action comes us. We singers practice all week or us singers practice all week? At the beginning of the sentence, we always use we, never us. We practiced all week. If you took out singers to check your work. Lois chose we dancers or us dancers? See, an action verb. What comes after an action verb? Action, action, action. Us. Lois chose us. And our last example. The actors were we boys or the actors were us boys? So I want to really look at my verb. My verb here is were, which is a linking verb. And the answer is we. We comes after a linking verb. And you can check your work by reading it backwards. We were the actors. And that sounds good. Okay. Remember the rules for we and us. And good luck on your assignment.